So today's webinar is all about our latest software update. And the latest software update we had is about sub-admin levels. That's the admin level, which you're all familiar with, the new manager level, and then the viewer level as well. So during today's webinar, we're going to go through those different levels of access. What is the admin access? What is the manager access? And what can a viewer see? But as well, we're going to talk about contact owners, course owners, and checklist owners, because these owner features that have always been available to you now have a really important function, and it's how those managers get access to these different areas in the tool. So first up is our admin access. Admin access is staying the same. It allows a person to see the entire platform. So this is the person at your organization who needs to see everything. They're kind of the umbrella. They're the person who is in charge of Ving, right? The person who's taking ownership of the safety program. They need to see all of the courses and all of the people and all of the checklists, and they want analytics on all of them. This admin is also going to be responsible for giving managers access to certain contacts. Your manager access. This is perfect for your mid-level managers or supervisors. Anybody who is really overseeing a smaller group of people. So think about the people at your organization that you want to be able to be responsible for just a small group, 5 or 6 people, 10 or 20 people, however you guys divide up contacts at your organization. It's going to improve engagement so much with managers having the ability to check in on a small group of people. And then as an admin, you're just going to be checking in on your managers. And so that will really help. And I hope that you'll see some engagement improvements with this as well. Viewer access. This is another setting that isn't changing, but is good to talk about. So viewer accesses are your employees. These are people who aren't necessarily seeing analytics. They're not seeing all of the different courses. They're only seeing the stuff that they have been assigned, and they're seeing how they've done on it. So they'll see access to their checklist submissions, access to the courses they've completed, any requirements they've done, things like that. But it's only about themselves, and they can't see anything about other people. So then that brings us to contact owner. The contact owner will get notifications about any inactivity, keeping them in the loop about how their contacts are doing. As well, this contact owner ability is what's going to give the manager permission to see that contact. They're going to be able to have access to their analytics. They'll be able to reach out to them with reminders and even update any contact information that might happen. The course owner. The owner of the course is the person that's allowed to edit the course. Now, managers will still be able to assign their crew to any courses, and they'll only be able to see the analytics for the people that they own. However, the person who is the owner of the course is the one who can revise the course and actually edit the material. Checklist owner. So the checklist owner works just like the course owner, except for we're talking about checklists this time. So this is the person who can edit the checklist. Again, anyone who's a manager level can still assign out checklists, but they won't be able to edit anything about the checklist, any of the questions or answers or things like that. So like always, now that we've gone through what was in this latest release, we're going to dive into the tool, and I'm going to show you exactly what those things look like. So first, we're going to take a look at the admin level. So the account I'm in today is an admin access. You'll see from this screen, this looks just like it always has for you. All of the dashboards up here at the top are giving me admin access, which means that I can see everybody and I can see all of their analytics. When I dive into the contacts area, I'm seeing our entire team here, and I'm seeing how everybody is doing. You'll notice in the top left corner, there are initials. This is who is responsible for that person. So who is the contact owner? And you can change contact owner pretty easily. Let's say that I now know that these 3 people need to belong to somebody else. You can come in here, click the owner icon, and then select from a list who needs to be the new owner, and then click save. You'll see their icon in the top left has changed. And from the manager's view, they will now be able to see anybody that you've added to them, or the other way as well. If you've removed them, then they'll no longer have access to that contact. As a reminder, the other thing that comes with contact owner is the manager or whoever is the contact owner is going to get notifications about inactivities. These will come to your email address and they'll tell you, hey, Karen was invited to a Ving so many days ago and she hasn't started, or she's only 30% of the way through. Any of those types of notifications are going to whoever the contact owner is. Next up is our course area. So same deal, you'll see whoever the owner is in the top left corner. Again, if you need to change the owner, you can select into the courses here. You can select the owner icon and then select whoever is responsible for that course and then click save. From here, as an admin, you'll have access to all of these courses. And when you click into a course, you'll actually have access to everybody who has completed that course. Again, from the admin level, you'll have checklists. You'll have access to all of the checklists. And when you click into those checklists, you'll see everyone's analytics. So now the more important thing to talk about today is the manager view, right? So this is our brand new manager view. And what this does is from the dashboard, you'll see I am only seeing the contacts that I'm responsible for. So from here, you can see how your contacts are doing with their assignments, working through everything here. You can go into the contacts area here, and as well, you only are seeing the contacts that you're responsible for. When you dive in, you're able to still see analytics about them. You can see how your contacts are doing on all of your assignments, so that way you know how to reach out to them. When I go into the course area and I select into a course, you'll see when we looked at this same exact course on the admin side, there was analytics here. But now that I'm in a manager view and I'm not the contact owner of the employee who completed this course, I'm actually not able to see the course. You'll notice I'm also not able to edit some of the settings. I will be able to share and assign it. Maybe I'm standing next to someone who needs to do this course now. So I can actually go out and assign it to them. But I can only see the analytics for people that I am the contact owner of. This same thing happens on the checklist side. When you're looking at the checklist here, you can select into it and you'll only be able to see analytics here if anyone that you're the contact owner of has actually completed this checklist. Finally, I want to walk you through what the viewer area looks like. So in the viewer area, and this has not changed, but is great to kind of review, in the top right corner, your employees can click their name. They can get to their assignments here. This has a list of everything that they have completed and a list of everything that they have done. And I'm going to jump back over to the admin one so we can see what that looks like with some analytics. So you'll see here, they'll have a list of everything that they need to do, when it's due, if there's a due date, how many minutes are remaining, what their progress looks like so far, and what is it? Is it a course? Is it a requirement? Is it a checklist? Things like that. From the done area, they'll actually be able to see all of the courses that they have completed, and they'll have access to their certificates. Again, the date that it was completed, the score that they got, if there's an expiration date, and again, what type of course it was. Was it an online course? Was it a requirement they did elsewhere? Things like that. Underneath here, you'll also get access to your checklists. So these are all of the checklists that you've submitted. So anything that I've been invited to, anything that the viewer has submitted, they'll have a full history of here as well. And so that is the 3 different settings. We talked about admin access, we talked about the brand new manager access, and we also talked about the viewer level of access and how to assign those different roles. I want to open it up to a Q&A time now. Is there any questions that you might have regarding these new levels of access, or even questions that you might have around Ving in general? If we have time, I'd love to answer any of them. And if this is your first time in a Zoom where you've used the chat feature should be available in the bottom middle. You'll see the little bubbles that you can chat back and forth with. Yeah. So someone asked, how do I get people on my team in different levels? This is a perfect question to start with. So adding adjusting people to different levels as far as admin, manager, and viewer is still working the same way it did before. You will email your Ving Success Manager, and they will upgrade or downgrade you into these different levels. So if you have a grouping of people or one or two people who either need their level adjusted, maybe they have been an admin and they need to be lowered to a manager, or maybe they're a viewer and now that manager is a thing, you need to upgrade them. Just shoot your Ving Success Manager, or you can email support@vingapp.com and we will get your levels adjusted pretty quickly. Someone had asked, does the new level cost us any additional money? Absolutely not. So you'll still use your seat count. So if someone was using a seat as a viewer, them being a seat as a manager does not cost you anything different. So, or them being a seat as an admin, that difference in level does not cost you anything. They'll still just be using a seat. So someone wanted to confirm, is there a way that their managers cannot see other people's information? So absolutely. So as you saw, this is kind of in this demo org that we're in. This is at admin level where you can see absolutely everything. And when we're in the manager mode, the other employees do not exist. There is no way to get to them. So they can't see any other employees' information. Okay, someone had just asked, can two managers own the same person? So at the current time, no. An employee needs to be reporting directly to one person. So if you guys do have people who report to multiple people, I would try to divide them up, and whoever kind of is the highest level or whoever has the most contact with that person should be the person that is their contact manager. So for example, if one of the managers that they report to, they see more often, then I would recommend as a best practice to pick that person. That will make sure that the person who's literally seeing them in person has a chance to connect with them and remind them about their safety training. Awesome. Someone was letting us know they're excited for this. And they've been waiting for this feature, which is awesome. We would love those too. If you guys have any feedback about this release, something that you loved about it, something that you wished was included with it, if it's something you've been waiting for, we'd love that kind of feedback just so we can share it with our team. So if you want to let us know what you think, again, just put it in the chat, or you can always email us. You can email me at Karen@vingapp.com, or you can email support at vingapp.com. Any of that feedback always helps us, lets us know if we're kind of going the right direction or not. Okay, it looks like our questions are kind of wrapping up. So before we get off, I do want to just ask one last thing. We would love to know if this sort of format, this webinar format, is something that you guys like and you want to continue seeing as we release new features and things like that. If you have a different format that you prefer, we'd love to hear that as well. So any feedback on the actual webinar itself, or feedback on the software release would be great. You can email those again directly to me at Karen@vingapp.com, or you can always email support@vingapp.com if you prefer. Okay, we got another question. So wait, let me hold on one second before we end. It's wondering where Ving is at on allowing a group to watch Ving trainings and they all get credit. We do batch learning mode with our training site. I know the employees need to take a test. Any insights? Okay. So actually, depending on exactly what you're looking for, this feature is already available. So not this past release, but the release before that, you now can we kind of like improved the way you do your in-person training. So for example, um, let's say that there were multiple people listed here, right? And they were all actually, we'll just go through the whole thing. So let's say that I know that so and so is going to be at like in the classroom on Thursday. So what you can do is you can put whoever you know is going to be in the session here. You can toggle this to no notification. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to assign the course to them, but not email or text them, right? Because you don't want them to start it. You guys are all going to do it together in the class. So when you click send now, it will assign them here. We'll give the system a few minutes just to assign it. Once they assign it, we'll kind of fast forward in time, right? Let's say that, they've all come through. You had the Ving up on the screen. You worked through the questions together. You worked through all the videos together. You did all of that together. Once you're in here, you can select them manually this way, or if you have like an entire list you need to select, you can use the header up here. But then over here on the right, there's a brand new button called Set as Complete. So you'll do Set as Complete and you'll mark it complete. You'll see their progress has then been updated. And we also will auto-generate a certificate for those people too. You'll see on the export, when you export your analytics, you will get some new analytics as well. And you'll get proof of like who set it as complete. So whenever you're sharing those analytics with people, you'll know the difference between the people who did it in the system and the people who were set as complete by a manager or things like that. Let me know if that helps your group watching. Oh, awesome. Okay, so they were saying they love the feature. Thank you. Yes, now your divisions don't have an excuse for not doing their Vings. And also, I want to recommend too, there was a webinar and it's on our YouTube channel, and I can email it to you as well. But there was a webinar on the last one, and it had a ton of stuff in it. It had expiration dates, auto-generated certificates, assigning in-person training. We kind of updated how we do requirements as well. So if you use that feature, that changed just a little bit, but hopefully all for the better, because there was we just did a lot of updating with how it's a little bit less on how they're doing the training and more just giving you the ability to track it all in one place. So that webinar was really great. Yes, I do. Okay, I see the two people I need to send that webinar to. Absolutely. And I'm going to try to send it to you today, but if you're looking for that webinar, actually, let me pull it up for you guys right now and I will Slack it to you, or I'll put it in the chat. Anybody else have any other questions while I'm pulling up that webinar for everybody? Yeah, the December software update happened right before the holidays, so we knew it was kind of hard for people to get to, but we didn't want to wait because I knew it was such a good one. Okay, I am sending you guys the webinar there. Let me know if you can't get to it, but it's there in the chat. Any other questions? Thoughts on the release? I want to project my Ving's online page to a TV monitor from my iPhone for group safety. I have an HDMI iPhone adapter and an HDMI cable to hook up my iPhone to the TV monitor. After connecting the iPhone to the TV, I can pull my Ving website using the correct input on the TV. Unfortunately, the selected safety video won't play. Can you help me troubleshoot? Yes. Okay. So it should, if you can, so someone was asking, just to kind of clarify what the question is, they are projecting the Ving safety training from their phone to a TV monitor, which should work totally fine. There are a lot of variables here, though, like what kind of TV you're using. It should all generally function the same. But in regards of trying to troubleshoot the problem, if you could email me and just what it looks like when it's starting to break, I'm happy to dive into that. I won't say I'm a TV expert, but I do absolutely understand what you're saying. And we can try to troubleshoot that here too if there's a problem. But you should be able to project your phone. I would imagine that the problem is a little less with Ving and more about the connection somewhere. Sometimes the connection is totally fine, and sometimes things just don't stream quite right. I know that I've had that like even outside of Ving. But yes, absolutely. Shoot me an email and I'm happy to walk through that, and any screenshots you have that helps find the issue faster. Any other questions? Did everybody, if you could give me like a thumbs up, did everybody who wanted the December webinar, did you get that? Okay, awesome. Got a thumbs up. Okay, cool. So I know it went through. Yes, that like Steph was saying, thank you guys so much for joining us. After we disconnect from the call, I'm going to try to get this video up to you as quickly as possible. It will also be available on our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to find it there. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to join us. If you do think of any questions about admin levels or have a question about Ving, if you have a scenario where something is or isn't quite working, or feedback you want to provide us, please feel free to shoot me an email. My email is karen@vingapp.com, or like always, you can always email us directly at support@vingapp.com. We're excited to help you out in whichever way we can. You guys are so welcome. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.